to talk wine and so many other things. But before we get to that, Lee, you look a little nervous this morning.
Oh, I'm good.
You're good, okay.
Good.
Well, before we get to that, I want to talk about some upcoming events, and you may know of one or two that, is happening here in Montrose. So this weekend, we've got the grand opening of the Summer Farmers Market. So do you know that the Farmers Market in Montrose goes all year round, right? Or maybe you didn't know. You didn't know that,
No.
yes. Well, so it's all year round, but in the summer, we go every single week. So the farmers market this Saturday will start every week through winter. And all of the entertainment that we have out there. Have you been to the farmers market lately?
It's been a while.
Oh,
I was pretty busy last summer.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going to hear more about that. Well, the farmers market here is a thing, and it is more than just produce and meats and stuff like that. So that's happening this Saturday. And the other thing that is happening is there is a grand opening at a new winery. Well, not new anymore, right? You guys are a year old?
We had a soft opening last year.
You did?
And
okay.
We are doing a grand opening this year because we didn't have our outdoor seating done last year.
Wait, there's outdoor seating?
Outdoor seating.
Okay.
We can seat over 40 people outside and over 35 inside.
Okay, I have 39 friends. Do you guys want to go with me tomorrow to the grand opening? And we'll just take up the back patio. So that's, help me with the name. LaNoue?
LaNoue Dubois.
LaNoue Dubois. So LaNoue Dubois, we're going to talk more about that name.
Yep.
And I'm going slow, so Drew took my slide away. So sorry, Drew. As we, I love our producers here. But so after Saturday, we're all going to go wine tasting, maybe go to the farmer's market, hang out and do some things. But on the 11th, we have a ribbon cutting, and it is the Elk Ridge Rehab Center. They are brand new here. It's new ownership. They're going to have their ribbon cutting and grand opening on the 11th. And then on the 13th, do you like sweet foods?
I do.
Do you know what is coming to town? Crumble.
Oh,
yes.
Where at? I'm out of the loop.
Really? Oh my gosh, we have to get you out. So you have to go to the grand opening and ribbon cutting of Crumble, and that is on Friday the 13th.
Okay.
You can check out all of these events at ourtownmatters.net or go to the chamber website, and we'll have all the times, the locations, and everything else. So we're here with Lee LaNoue. And I'm super excited to talk to Lee, not just because he makes wine, and wine is one of my favorite things on the planet. Did you know that? Did they tell you?
Didn't, but I got a hunch.
You got it. So we're going to talk wine, we're going to talk entrepreneurship, we're going to talk family businesses, and we're going to talk ag. And anything else you want to talk about?
You know, I'm open to questions.
Are you?
Whatever
Okay.
you want to know.
Well, we're going to be right back after this commercial break because we couldn't bring Montrose Matters live to you without the support of Alpine Bank, the real estate store, River Valley Family Health Centers, and Elevate Fiber. So we'll be right back. At River Valley Healthcare Centers, we believe everyone deserves access to quality care. At our locations, you will find friendly staff and professional medical providers who are committed to helping you achieve optimal health. Our goal is to meet the needs of our community by eliminating barriers to patients receiving quality medical, dental, and mental health care, as well as convenient access to a pharmacy. We're accepting new patients, so contact us today, regardless of your insurance and income status.
In Colorado, we come prepared to weather any storm, to choose to see obstacles as challenges that make us stronger and better. When things get hard, we face them, dig in, and rise above. That's why Alpine Bank is proud to call Colorado home. After all, everything we need is right here. You are Colorado. So are we.
Okay, and we are back in the Montrose Matters live studio. I'm here with Lee. Lee, you know, you have such a unique name. Can you give me a little bit of history of LaNoue?
So, on my dad's side, we're LaNoue.
Okay.
And then on my mom's side comes the woods. And LaNoue Dubois in French means LaNoue of the woods. So it's symbolic of LaNoue wines from the woods estate. And we picked that name because we built the winery on my grandparents' farm. So that was the Woods family farm, and then it was a vineyard, and then it got subdivided by 5 daughters, my mom being one of them. So we decided to grow a vineyard and make a winery. And then there's a hops farm on one of the sections now. And
Oh, so we're going to produce beer too?
no, that's our neighbors.
Is it?
unfortunately.
Okay.
But they're really great people, and we're happy they're our neighbors.
All right, so let me think here. Your name has a great story and a history. Mine does not. I want to make something up. I want to be Maddox of the Montrose.
Maddox of the Montrose. That
I have
that
no
has a
idea.
ring to it.
But LaNoue of the Woods. I like that. I like that a lot. So you have a unique family business, and kind of tell us a little bit about the history. You are partners with whom?
So I'm partners with my parents. There's 3 owners, my mom, my dad, and I.
Really? Who's the boss?
And we're all the bosses.
Okay,
We all
sorry,
have our
Mom.
different
I thought
roles.
that he was gonna say, Mom's always the boss. He's been the boss.
Well, we all control different aspects.
Do you?
And so I'm mainly the winemaker, then I do marketing and social media.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad bounces back and forth between managing the vineyard and tasting room, and then my mom does tasting room and accounting.
Okay, so tell me about winemaking. Is this something that you just had a chemistry set or something, when you were growing up?
I didn't even like chemistry in high school. Ironically, I didn't like woodworking either, so I never took wood shop, and then I became a custom woodworker in my 20s.
Again, LaNoue of the Woods.
Yeah.
You just
LaNoue
gotta
of the
keep
Woods.
that.
No, I didn't even think about
See?
that. And so, yeah, I made homemade wine with my dad my whole life since I was 8 years old.
Oh, you did?
And
Wait, can you do that?
Yeah.
You can't taste it, but you can make it.
legally I can help make it.
Okay.
And I hated it.
Did you?
So they would drag me down to Montrose because I grew up in Rangeley where my
Okay.
dad worked, and they would drag me down and help in the vineyard, and I hated it in high school because it's a 3.5-hour drive. I couldn't hang out with my friends.
Yeah, okay.
So I spent my weekends down here helping Grandpa farm and helping build the vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not want much to do with the vineyard at that point.
I gotta tell you, helping your grandfather farm and helping with the vineyards, that hasn't helped turn you into a good person at all, has it?
Probably not,
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't help build character or
Parents
anything.
out there, if you really want to build character and, true entrepreneurship, don't make them work on the weekends.
Yeah,
All right,
let them play with their friends.
Exactly, in video games.
You don't want them to own their business.
No.
So by the time I graduated high school, I realized, I really do like wine. And
Not just drinking it, but
I
making
loved working out in the vineyard. I loved the sunshine. I loved the freedom. Our vineyard's right by the river, so
Oh.
there was a couple summers that I actually quit my job just to come back to the vineyard and work in the vineyard. And I would work in the morning and then go fishing on my lunch break. And then I'd get back to work in the afternoon.
Wait, Drew's getting excited, another fisherman.
That's all you have to say.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you got to come out, Drew.
Okay.
So I realized in my early 20s that this was definitely my end game, but it was a long waiting process. And so I became a custom woodworker and went into the oil field. I did my own thing.
Oh, wow.
And then in 2017, my dad retired from Chevron in Rangeley and moved up here full time. And then in 2018, my mom called me and she said, "Lee, your dad's breaking himself. We can't do this without you." And I said, "All right, I'm putting in my 2 weeks today." So I put in my 2 weeks. I was a custom woodworker up in Telluride at that point.
Okay.
And decided this has been my dream for years now, and it is time. So I was pretty excited. Worked in the vineyard that summer, and by the time September harvest came around, I realized there was a winemaking program at CMU in Grand Junction.
Really?
And we were kind of drawing the winery, going back and forth. It was taking longer than we anticipated. And so I was planning to just take 1 semester of chemistry and winemaking classes just to find out some microbiology behind the wine, which was an area that Dad and I were lacking in knowledge. And I ended up getting my full degree in viticulture and enology before we opened the winery. And
I had no idea CMU even offered that.
It's a fairly new program.
Okay.
I think I was the 3rd year, but I was also the first graduate to be part owner in a winery that's was opening. So
Nice.
pretty proud of that.
Oh, you should be. So that brings us to what? To 2019.
2020, I graduated in May of 2020.
Okay.
So for the 2 years I was in college getting my degree, I was taking 17 credits a semester as a single father, driving to Junction 5 days a week.
I'm sorry,
Then
what?
helping in the vineyard on the weekends and doing what I could to help
And you're
build.
still sane?
Yeah, it's another example of building character.
There you
it's
go.
Like a rite of passage, you know?
That's amazing. So you have been open for 1 year now, correct?
1 year on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. A year on Tuesday. And it was easy, right?
Oh yeah,
It was so
easy.
Like, just simple, you know? You take some grapes, you grow some, grapes, and you stomp them with your feet. And
Just so simple.
So no, but seriously, it was. You guys learned a lot in the first year, or still learning.
We did.
Quite a bit. You're on shelves in a few locations.
We're not pursuing a whole lot of liquor stores and restaurants right now, just because in our first year we sold a lot more wine than we anticipated, and so.
Oh, what a horrible problem to have.
Yeah, what a horrible problem.
Yeah.
But we decided that it wasn't worth getting in a bunch of liquor stores and restaurants just to be out of wine in the tasting room. So we're still kind of weighing those options and trying to get into select locations. Like we're at the Montrose Event Center, and sometimes Mosaic in Montrose pours our wine. And
You'll be there tonight, right?
I will be there for First Friday pouring tonight if you'd like to show up.
See, I'm all about plugs. You got to get the plugs in, Lee.
Yeah.
So the tasting room is up and running, and you're open how often?
So right now we're open 5 days a week.
Okay.
We just extended our hours. So on Monday and Thursday, we're open from 11 to 6. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are open 10 to 7.
Oh, so you're open late then.
And then hopefully soon we might be going 7 days a week.
Okay.
Through the busy season anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I think my heart just started jumping a little bit.
We're here for you, Tom.
Are you?
Whenever you need wine.
Thank you. I need wine and ambience. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk about the tasting room, how awesome that is, what you have planned for Saturday, the ribbon cutting and grand opening. And then I want to talk about kegs, because wine and kegs kind of go together a little bit, right?
They do.
They do. We're talking to Lee from LaNoue Dubois Winery, and we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Believe it, just like Gigfoot, Zero Lag Gaming does exist. The real myth now? Slow internet made you lose. So step up your game with Elevate Internet today.
At the Real Estate Store, we're a group of real estate professionals who share all forms of property brokering in an innovative way. Our expertise and experience makes us the best choice for buyers and sellers. Our brokers are ready to assist you, either in person or virtually. Come visit us in historic downtown Montrose and experience for yourself the difference of our personal, professional property brokers.
Okay, and we are back in the studios with Lee, and we are talking all things wine. Okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
Okay, Lee. Now, bear with me here. If there is a way to infuse wine into grapes, wouldn't that be awesome? You could just sit here and eat grapes.
That would.
You would see?
I would have to run some extensive labs.
You could say you got the idea from me.
I'm not going to say it's not possible.
Okay. Will you name it after me if you create something such as that?
The Maddox grape.
There you I like it. I like it a lot. So, you know what? I have to tell you, I was so surprised. We were talking before the show started, and I was so surprised about all the technology that goes into winemaking. It is not as simple as literally picking grapes and squeezing them and all of those other things. There's a true science behind this. And were you surprised by that, or because you'd been making wine for so long, you knew, you just understood?
Both. And so making amateur wine with my dad all my life,
What is that? What is amateur wine?
So amateur wine just means it's homemade wine. You don't have a commercial winery license.
Okay.
And so making wine with Dad, I kind of knew there was all these microorganisms behind the scene. I took biology in high school, but I didn't realize the extent to what was going on. And so when I took ag chemistry and all these winemaking classes, I learned the mycology behind the scenes, which is the study of yeast.
Okay.
And
thank you for clarifying.
so you pick out whatever yeast that you want in your wine to impart different flavors during the fermentation process.
Okay.
So there's all these different species of yeast, like Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the
Saccharomyces cerevisiae
is the predominant yeast strain that we use in winemaking.
Okay.
Saccharomyces bianus, that is the main yeast strain used for sherry, if you've ever had a Spanish sherry wine.
Okay.
So there's all these different strains of yeast and then hybrids of those yeasts, depending on whether you want more fruit flavor or more earthy tones, whatever you want. And then you have to manage the microorganisms along the process. So yeah, you could just crush grapes,
Okay.
let it ferment wildly, but it's not as commercially feasible. So there's a lot can go wrong if you don't try to control or manage those microorganisms.
Okay.
And control is the wrong word. Like my winemaking teacher in Palisade used to say, winemaking is not an attempt to control the fermentation. It's an attempt to manage the microorganisms to go in the direction you want them to go.
So how, now this is fascinating, but what I want to know is how do you all get the same consistency each time?
So my winemaking teacher and I do not agree because she was telling me that you need to make it consistent every year, which is true for a lot of wineries. And to do that, you have to blend with different vintages, different varieties. So like Gallo, for instance, if they want to make their Chianti taste exactly the same, they'll blend with different vintages of Chianti every year, and they will make it taste the same every year, but the grapes and the vintages won't be the same every year.
Right.
And so extensive blending trials. And
so as a wine connoisseur, though, should we not be looking for consistency?
Exactly. So since
so
we're
you just schooled me.
a boutique winery, I do not care about making it the same every year. I want to make the best wine that I can, depending on what the grapes give me every year. And I think
been educated.
that keeps the customers more engaged because it's like, hey, come try our new vintage instead of go pick up a bottle of the same wine that you had 3 years in a row.
Right.
And a lot of people like the same wine.
We do.
But there's a lot of consumers out there that also don't ever buy the same wine twice. They're always looking for something new. And I think it's a much better business plan for us to just do the best with the grapes every year because the grapes are different every year.
Right.
And so if we can just do the best that we can every year with what the grapes give us, then I think it's just the best way to go.
You know what, Lee, I don't mind being educated, and especially when I am educated in the kindest, most sophisticated way. So basically, you're telling me the consistency you're looking for is like old school. I should be looking for the best wine I could possibly get.
Oh yeah.
Who cares if it tasted the same way a year ago, 2 years ago?
Well, and that's the whole reason why vintages were so popular. You know, it's when you look at the European wines, it's like, oh, you want to get a 57, not a 63.
Yeah.
And so I like that idea of the wine tasting different every year
Okay.
and playing around with different styles and seeing what our customers like better.
So I hear that you didn't bring samples because you want me to come down to the tasting room.
Exactly.
Is that the,
And it worked. She's going to come down today.
Coming down today. But so I have to ask you, tell us, what are we going to experience? When we walk through the doors, you're south of town. Okay. What are we going to tell us about the experience that you'll have once you enter the tasting room?
So the first thing you'll experience is beautiful views of the San Juans.
Oh, okay.
So we are on Trout Road, just past the hops farm. So you turn at the end of the hops farm, and on the other side of the hops farm is our winery. Park in the parking lot, see the beautiful views of the San Juans, and then you come inside and you see a really classy tasting room. So we have granite countertops, bar stools, tables. All of the trim in the tasting room was all wood that my grandpa put up 50, 60 years ago.
Really?
So since I was a custom woodworker, I remilled all of these corral boards into the trim, big headers on the doors. And it's just really classy and well done.
Okay.
Which is interesting because there are 3 owners, my mom, my dad, and I. We all had different ideas of how we wanted the tasting room to look.
I'm sure you did.
And so before we opened the winery, we learned a lot of good compromising tactics. And I think that was really nice.
That's good. All right, let's talk about what you have in the tasting room right now today. What will we taste? You have blends, you have whites, you have reds, what?
Both.
Both.
Or all
3, okay.
So we are sold out of our Marshall Foch Nouveau 2020. We're sold out of our Ruby Rosé 2020. But we just bottled our last red of the 2020 vintage, which is our single varietal Marshall Foch.
Okay.
And so that is going to be our boldest red yet. So this is more for the Cab Sauv drinkers and the big red drinkers.
Okay.
And so if you come in for a tasting today or this weekend, we have Marshall Foch 2020.
Okay.
We have Woods Red Blend 2020. We have Sweet Black Muscat 2020.
That's a sweet wine.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And then we have a Riesling that's non-vintage, and then we have our Le Maréchal port-style wine.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite? Do you have one?
My favorite that we've made so far was the Marshall Foch Nouveau.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we ran out, and I wish we had twice as much.
But you have some hidden at your house somewhere, right? Like there's...
We're on the air. Darn.
I'm not going to give them your address or anything, but...
I have about 2 cases left, which is 24 bottles, and I saved those for winemaking competitions and special occasions. I also, since that was our first vintage of commercial wine, I need to be able to open a bottle every 4 to 6 months and see how those wines age over the next 5 years.
I see.
Because that will affect my winemaking style. And if it goes bad in the next 2 years, then I need to
make some changes.
I got to make some changes.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. So what's happening Saturday at the grand opening?
So our grand opening is tomorrow. We hope to see you all there.
Yeah.
And we're having a ribbon cutting by the Greater Montrose Chamber of Commerce at 11. And then we have Coral Sky, which is a local favorite musician.
Okay.
She'll be there from 12 to 2. And then we have DJ AK1 from 4 to 7.
Oh my gosh, it's a party.
Banana, Frozen Treats, so she will be there from 4 to 7 as well.
Okay.
And Blue Ribbon Barbecue all day.
Oh, you really know how to throw a party, don't you?
Well, this is our first time. So
exactly. You only do a grand opening once,
yeah.
right? You know, or a ribbon cutting once. I love it. So how many people are you hoping to see?
We're hoping to see at least 30 at a time to 50 at a time all day
long.
So cycling in and out. And we'll have cornhole and tic-tac-toe. We got big Jenga blocks for tabletop Jenga.
Okay.
And I got some cards. I even got Uno, if
What?
you want to play Uno.
All right, my son and I are there. We are just Uno freaks. So anybody who wants to come play with us, come on out tomorrow. And guess what we're going to do? Our Town Matters and Montrose Matters, just for you coming on, we're buying a gift certificate. So we will be giving that away to anyone who shows up tomorrow. We have a raffle that you can draw from, and you'll get a gift certificate to the winery.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Well, thank you, Our Town Matters.
You are very welcome. So, Lee, what was I not smart enough to ask you? You only get to tell one thing.
that you're not smart enough to ask me?
Yes, that you want to tell people in Montrose.
Absolutely nothing. You're a very smart lady.
Oh, you're a good answer. Okay, let me rephrase that one then. Anything else you want to tell us about your awesome family history, about the winery?
I do want to include tomorrow we are kicking off our wine cocktails. So we will have 3 wine cocktails. 2 of them will be here to stay through the summer, and that is Kathy's Key Lime and then Summer Sangria. Tomorrow and Sunday we are offering Bashberry Sangria, and that comes in a mason jar. You get to keep that mason jar. Beautiful mason jar with a label on it, a lid that has a hole for a straw. You can take that home.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're pretty excited to start offering wine cocktails.
Okay.
And then a rosé frosé. So it is kind of like a slushy rosé.
Yes. All right. So you know what? I just have to say this. If you've ever been here, you know that my staff gets wild and crazy. They were out there dancing when you said wine cocktails. So I think we have a few people who are excited. We will see you tomorrow. Everyone just come out and let's support this amazing winery. What time tomorrow?
From 10 to 7.
10 to 7.
And if we have a lot of customers past 7, I will be happy to stay open and keep the party going.
Okay, and then on Sunday, on Mother's Day, is when the wine cocktails will start? Or
No,
they start tomorrow?
They start tomorrow.
Okay, what's the frozen thing on Sunday? Did I just miss something?
Oh no, so starting tomorrow we're offering those wine cocktails through the summer.
Oh, through the summer. Okay, I thought something was happening tomorrow. So everybody come out, Montrose, let's make it a great weekend, and we will see you next week.